Now let's talk about regret. It is one of the worst feelings that you can ever experience in this entire lifetime. There are many instances, even in my life, where I thought back and I was in a state of regret. I was like, what if I could have done something better? What if I could have chosen a different path? What if I could have taken a different approach to the same things that I've experienced in my entire life? And I had my phases. I went through so many ups and downs and chaos in these deep valleys inside my mind. But then I had the power to pull through and overcome it. And then when I look back, I don't see regret as an emotion that you have to get rid of or never have to experience them ever again, because you have to understand it is human emotion and you're always going to experience regret in one way or another. Even if you overcome this, even if I have overcome my feeling of regret in my past, I will also experience regret in my future, because I don't know how life will go, but I know a way on how to deal with this in a much better way, because I've dealt with it before, done all the inner work. Now, you shouldn't be regretful for experiencing all these emotions, because regret in itself, all your past experiences have made you the person you are today. All my past experiences, all the pain, all the trauma have made me the person I am today. And if I never experienced any of those, I wouldn't be the person I am today. I wouldn't have the same personality. I wouldn't have the same experiences. And I wouldn't be the same kind of person that is here recording this video and talking about regret. Now, that's the same thing for you. Never be ashamed for experiencing these emotions, such as regret or anger, because they are essential emotions which show us the both extremities of life. Because in life you are meant to experience the highest of the highs and the lowest of the lows, with everything in between. Life doesn't make any sense if you never experience pain, if you never experience anger, if you never experience regret. And why I say regret is the most painful emotion is because deep down inside you are punishing yourself by having the feeling of regret. You're like, what if I took that path? What if I took a different direction? What if this path or this sort of life that I'm living is not right for me? You're always constantly, clouding your mind with all these regretful thoughts and going down in this downward spiral. And essentially, you're punishing yourself. See, the universe doesn't punish you. The universe doesn't judge you. It is you who decide to punish yourself. It is you who decide to judge yourself. And you're going through this constant vicious cycle of pain, vicious cycle of emotional instability, and you fail to see life or appreciate life as it truly is because you're so clouded by your judgment. Now, this is why people say regret is poison, because you could be 80 years old and the clock might be ticking. At that moment in time and space, if you're feeling regret, if you're feeling that you should have lived a different life, or maybe I should have done this, maybe I should have done that, at that point it's going to be very heavy on you, and you literally feel like you wasted your entire life. And that is the worst feeling ever. See, you can let go. You can let go of your past, heal from your generational trauma, your past trauma, whatever that has been done to you or happened to you. You can heal from all that. But still, when that feeling of regret arises deep down inside, the best thing that worked for me, the best thing that shifted my mind and my perspective is this saying, is this quote. And this is a quote that's been said by this very wise man. His name is Gautam Buddha. It has been said thousands of years ago. And what he basically states is, there is no right path. There is no, the better choice in life. There is no the exact right path. There's only suffering. And suffering is inevitable. Whatever path you choose, suffering is inevitable. There is no right path. But whatever path you choose, make sure it is worth the suffering. And when I went through this code or read this code, I'm not even sure if I said the code in the right order, but basically it means that there's no right path in life. There's only suffering. And whatever kind of suffering you choose to go or undergo, make sure that that suffering is worth it. Now this opened up so many portals in my mind, so many light bulbs went off in my mind, and I was totally amazed. I mean, this code was said like thousands and thousands of years ago, and it still holds true in today's society and in today's state of mind that we are currently living in the space and time continuum. And it resonates with me so deeply that I have a different perspective on experiencing regret, on experiencing pain, and all the other negative emotions which society has labeled as negative or these lower state emotions. And I realized that all of these emotions, your anger, your desire, your apathy, your guilt, your shame, down to neutrality, acceptance, joy, love, and happiness. You are meant to experience all of them. That is the ultimate human experience. There is no point in only experiencing joy and happiness. Neither there is any point in experiencing only anger, shame, guilt. And while so many epiphanies go around in my head, after, learning to look at life in much different perspectives, I tend to understand the fact that life in itself doesn't happen to you. It happens from you. It happens through you. Now, what I mean by that is you are the universe experiencing itself. You choose on what things you should be angry about. You choose how you react to life. Basically, a bunch of things just happens. Life is fast. Life is just moving on from point A to point B. It is you who are in this journey who decides to give some things weightage, who decide to ignore some things in the back. And pain is a forefront, because you don't hear people telling, I'm suffering from joy and happiness. It is always, I'm suffering from pain, I'm suffering from fear, I'm suffering from anger, because these are the emotions that kept us alive for so many centuries. These are the emotions that helped us survive to the testament of time. It is pain, it is anger, it is shame, it is guilt, which has helped us grow as human beings, helped us advance spiritually, physically, scientifically, psychologically, and emotionally. And that is why I say these are very important emotions. There's no point in you ignoring them. And as I stated, that we're living in this momentary flow of life in which universe is just snapping each and every second. Every second is passing by like this. And it's you who choose to make any meaning out of it or not. Because you can be in the best place in the world, you can be in this dream vacation, but it is you who decides to either enjoy that very moment or be regretful about the past. And understand, whatever has happened in the past has happened for a reason. Without them, you'll never be the person you are today. And there is no if, and, or but, because you never know. If you had taken the other path, you never know. Would it be good or bad? So you have to detach yourself from these past experiences. And whenever that feeling of regret arises in your body, mind, or soul, just let it pass through. Instead of being regretful for feeling regretful and going in the cycle down there again, instead of being that, once you feel regret, just let it pass through. Experience it. Experience all these lower emotions, dark emotions, whatever you may call it. Because only when you go through darkness, you start to appreciate light. Only when you go through winter, the harshest of the harshest to winter, you tend to experience spring in a much more grateful way. The skies are more blue, the flowers are blooming, and the scent of flowers, and there's warmth everywhere. Everything is so pleasant and nice. You tend to appreciate it a little more. You tend to live in that moment because you have experienced the harshest of the harshest winter. And that is the same thing in life. If you're experiencing the lowest of the lows, you will also experience the highest of the highs and everything in between. You are not here to only experience the top cream of emotions, such as joy and happiness, because that is what all of us crave. All of us crave love, all of us crave happiness. Everybody wants peace, nobody wants to go to war. Everybody wants to go to heaven, nobody wants to die. And that's the same thing that reflects upon this. So you're a human being who's living this human experience. Just experience every emotion. Now, as we hear in the time-space continuum, the past has happened for a reason. It is there for a reason. It has shaped you, the person you are today. All the highs, all the lows, all the positives, all the negatives, and everything in between has made you the person you are today. And I'd like to ask you only one question. As we're moving forward in time, and as you're living in this very moment, and the clock is ticking, and it's ticking fast, would you choose a suffering? Would you choose a path of suffering that you'll be angry about, or you'll feel regretful about till the end of time? Or would you choose a suffering that is worthwhile?